Have you ever wanted to become an entertainer here in the islands and then decide, why don't I have my family members join me? Find out the good news in tough times with the Kapena Ohana here on Living Hope with your hosts, Don O'Brien and John Tilton. Hey, Penabu, you're gonna learn all the instruments. Little girl, you're gonna learn bass, and then Kalena, you're gonna learn how to play the keyboards. Honey, you're gonna sing with me. And me, I just gonna play tambourines. Mase se, mase se, mase se.
Aloha, ehele mai e ai, e komo mai, come in and feast.
Happy Thanksgiving. From our hearts to yours, it's my favorite holiday because it's all about that food,
And
My
family.
belly.
Welcome to Hawaii's newest TV magazine, Living Hope. It's all about celebrating the spirit of aloha, the best of Ohana, and the good news of Hawaii. I'm your host, Pastor John Tilton.
And I'm Auntie Dawn O'Brien. For our very first episode, it's one of Hawaii's best known and best loved Ohana, the DeLimas of the band Kapena.
In 2020, the world was all crises and craziness, but Kapena crushed it.
Yes, Hawaii's beloved and busiest band, playing 7 nights a week at multiple venues, was suddenly fired. The whole family found themselves furloughed and on unemployment. They went from non-stop, sold-out concerts to staying stuck at home.
2020 was epic for everyone, for better or for worse. For Kapena, it was both a time of weeping and winning.
The DeLimas not only survived, they thrived. And they have lots to give thanks for this Thanksgiving. The newly opened Kapena School of Music, a brand new grandbaby and band member, more Na Hoku Hano Hano Awards, a major breakthrough for Kelly Boy, and healing for the whole family, and even wedding bells.
So much to celebrate. Let's join the DeLimas at home to Vala'au, a talk story. But first, we promised Good News Hawaii.
Heads up, Hawaii, here comes a fast flash news flash.
Good news Hawaii, all good, all day.
And today we got a double dip, double scoop.
2 fast stories. Get ready for some good news.
Yee-hoo! First up, it's the Bible to the max.
What? No act.
Boom, yeah, you know it. It's a brand new Bible, is now written in Pidgin, available to our people in our own language. It's a bunch of languages in Hawaii all combined into one.
Local celebrities and voices came together to record the good and special book.
Mine's more better though, you know, think.
What is it?
The Bible to the max.
Oh, that's good.
Boom,
That's
yeah.
a good one.
Nah. But yes, local talents like Sam Kapu III, Kaleo Pilanka, and Tony Silva of the Bradas all chipped in or chirped up and volunteered to record the project in just 2 months.
And it was just released this fall, and you can get your copy or spock 'em out at hawaiipigeonbible.org.
Go check 'em, go. Can buy, listen, or watch. Super cherry.
Our second scoop of Good News Hawaii is our own local West Side story of Thanksgiving.
West Side! 22 years strong, they've been doing this in Waianae and Nanakuli Oahu, where Pele To'omata and an Aloha army of volunteers deliver thousands of free hot meals at Thanksgiving. Jeff Stone is the developer at Ko'olina, and he works together with Brother Pele to get all the food donations, all the chefs from KCC Culinary School, and even UPS delivery trucks to take the meals hot all up and down the coast.
To'omata says that it started off as an effort to unite the contractors to do something good for their neighbors. That exploded into a huge annual tradition on a huge scale greater than they ever anticipated, and now they kind of run like a small military operation.
Maybe we can call it Operation Opunui Teve. Nah,
It
just
sounds
joking,
good to me.
All the volunteers start in the wee hours of the morning to cook all the turkeys, the sides. Even hundreds of volunteers then gather at the Ko'olina lagoons and load up the UPS trucks marked for all points possible. And out it goes, up and down the leeward coast.
This year, Ko'olina's Thanksgiving Outreach contracted 2 restaurants to cater the food and support local. Both Nanakuli's Alex's Grill and Waianae's Hanara Restaurant.
Woo.
Each catered 500 bentos for special delivery.
When I asked Pele the all-important question of why, he said easy. When people have food in their stomachs, they can hear an encouraging message more easy. And once you get encouragement into their hearts, all of the friends, neighbors, the whole community becomes a safe space. Once you get a safe place, then the keiki can grow up great. Chee-hoo!
Now that's a wrap on our Good News Hawaii, a double scoop of inspiring news right here in our islands. Aloha!
Hey, welcome back. Happy Thanksgiving and happy gobble gobble to you wobble wobble. We're here in the Hale Kapena. I want to welcome you into the house of my dear friends Kelly Boy and Leolani DeLima. Hey, woohoo!
How's it done?
But these guys is family. I already went straight into the fridge. You know you family when you walk straight into the fridge.
Thank
and I
you.
got
Right.
busted by Leolani.
She took the whole fridge.
Tongue and style, whakatong, I gotta do it. You know, it is Thanksgiving week, and we have just come through 2 years of a global crisis. We've had the coronavirus craziness. What are you giving thanks for this year?
Well, I'll go first. I am just thankful for family. Number one, for God, of course, but for Him blessing us with such an awesome family. It was family that kept us all together. It was a glue that kept us, looking forward. Looking forward and looking to God for deliverance and to get us to the next day. One
Are
day
you
at a
sure?
time,
Because I was just talking with Leolani, and she said during lockdown, you guys was locked up in this house with each other. What happened then, Leo?
Yeah.
I think the pressure of the year, the stress, the trials and tribulations of all those things kind of put a pressure on the relationship.
Wow.
And it's through that we found breaking and a breakthrough in
Oh, and
years.
she went there. She
Sorry,
went there already.
We're going
Nalo
to keep
girl.
it real. We're going to just keep it real. Because I'm thankful for this man of God. I'm thankful that he submitted and surrendered completely to the Lord. We were saved and blood bought,
Yeah,
but
I don't think it was really the pandemic that brought breakdown. I already had breakdown. You know what I mean? Before the pandemic, it wasn't this that took us to the edge. You know what I mean? I already was at the edge. I was living at the edge. What the pandemic did was bring clarity.
Yeah. Like a microscope on it.
Put a
yeah?
microscope,
Yeah.
a magnifying glass on it, and that's when God kind of just transformed my life.
So you opened it up, so I'm going to follow up on that. Is you were at Koa Pancake House.
Right.
2 guys confronted you.
Yep.
2 hours long, you're crying, you're talking. Then you came home with Leolani. You spoke for 3 more hours. What happened and what was the
I
confrontation?
get a call from Pastor Cal Chinin, and he says, Kelly Boy, and I don't know Pastor Cal that well. Kelly Boy, God gave me one word for you.
Wow.
And I goes, okay. And normally, Don, I mean, I can count the people that I hang out with on my hand, and I get fingers left over because I'm so much in the public, and in the kind, when I come home, that's my sanctuary. I stay home. I'm with,
Right.
It's me and Leo or the kids, and that's
Because you're
not
a
my
public
deal.
personality. When you're
Well,
home,
it's
your
just, it's not that
sanctuary.
it's just, that's not, you know what I mean? What
you are.
I do, you know what I mean? Pastor Cal calls me and he says, come down to Koa House. So I says, it's right down the road, okay, So I go and it's Pastor Cal and Eli Kapihe, Pastor Eli. And Pastor Cal comes down and he sits down and he goes, how you doing? And I'm going, I'm okay, Pastor Cal, and he says, well, the Lord has a word for you that he gave me. And I said, what is the word? And he said, the word is stuck. You stuck in whatever situation you're going through it. Oh man, Don, that word stuck spoke volumes to me in so many different ways. I had problems with anger, just really for years, control. You know what I mean? I had this control over my family, like I thought I could have control over that, and if it was in my mind and if I was, adamant about it, then I'm going to the ends of,
Wow.
of destruction to make sure that, I have control and they know I have control in our situation,
This is really surprising, I think, for a lot of people watching, and I know it was for me when I first heard you share this. Thank you for trusting us with that. But we see Kelly Boy, the public figure, and you are Mr. Aloha, your whole family.
Happy-go-lucky, and that's
Right.
how I am, you know what I mean? And,
But at home, it's a
yeah.
different story, you're saying.
Well, it's not necessarily at home. It's just a trigger that sets me off like the Incredible Hulk. That's why Pastor Cal calls me the Green Monster. He said, hey, the Green Monster wouldn't show up, And that's what happened. You know, we had great times in our life, but man, if something wasn't going my way, or if I felt, you know what I mean, like, you know, that we had to be doing something, or it has to be done this way or whatever, that's when control and anger would just take over me. And anything, like even when I'm driving on the road, you know, road rage and stuff, you know. I mean, I remember coming down the Like one time and somebody would stick finger at me for, I don't know, I might have done something, whatever. Oh, I chased them down, and I had my 2 kids, Kalena and Pena, was in baby car seats. And it was kind of raining, and man, we did like 360 on the, I was trying to bang them off the, you know, and I was like, bro, wait, where does this anger come from? What does this control? Where does this, you know, and this thing stayed with, this was from when they were, and it just followed me, you know. And that night when we were doing TOW at Pastor Cal Chinen's house, that's when it broke. Yeah. That's when, you know, I gave my testimony about that, and the Lord downloaded something to me. He said, you know something, this anger that you carry is from, you know, your generation before you and a generation before you, and you don't even know what. Like my grandfather was pure Portuguese, the DeLima, you know. He was a crazy Portuguese, that guy, you know. I hear stories about
and
how
all West Side.
Yeah, how he beat my dad, and in that times they grew up in Kalihi. And then my dad did the same thing to me, you know what I mean? He had control over me when he wasn't, you know. So what was really happening, you know, in a nutshell, I was passing down this thing it was getting passed down from generation to generation. And at that night, it hit me that, is that what we want to do? I saw it in my son, Kapena. Yeah. You know, he was going to engineering school in Emeryville in San Francisco. And we were looking at this old car. And the car was beautiful, and it was restored on a trailer. And we're looking, not touching the car, and this guy yells from over the balcony, "Hey, get away from the car," you know. And oh man, I see Kapena flew into a rage. He was like calling the guy off of the balcony, "Come down," you know, and doing that kind of stuff. And all of a sudden, man, I saw me inside him, and this was years ago when he was going, but still yet I carried that, you know. And I didn't realize it, but God downloaded something really unreal to me. He said, you have transferred that down to your son. Now He's going to transfer that down to your grandson. And then from the next generation, you're just going to preserve that, that demon. You know what I mean? Right. That you know what I mean? And you know what, Don? I was like, bruh, you know what? I cannot do this. Yeah. I cannot do this anymore. I said, Lord, you gotta, and all of a sudden, man, we were in the same room. Yep. The atmosphere of that God that breaks, you know what I mean? Strongholds came into that room. Amen. I never even knew what I preached. I had to go back home and watch back on Facebook what I was preaching, because I didn't even know what I said.
The Spirit of God invaded. I have God bumps now.
He invaded that service. And here we were trying to give our testimony to encourage people, but the thing would make one U-turn and crack me back in the head, you know what I mean? And ever since then, this is what God has told me. He said, you know something, every day you got to make a choice. Wow. Every day, wake up in the morning and make a choice. Who you going to choose today? You going to choose the world, or you going to choose God? Wow. And every day I choose the Lord. Because if I don't, then the world overtakes me. Yeah. You know, another thing that he told me, he said, you know something, life is so short. No use waste time, you know? No waste time getting angry with your kids, getting angry with people and stuff like that, because then it brings division, between you and family, Ohana. And for us, that's the most important thing, is our family, Ohana. So why you like get into an argument and make this kind, and then, you know, talk for years, and then you make all this kind, that's a waste of time.
And you don't even remember what you were fighting about.
Right, before you know it, time is done and you died. You know what I mean? No. So for me, I made the choice that today, Pastor Ellie told me, it doesn't mean that you're not going to get angry again. You know what I mean? Sometimes I get a little, you know what I mean, flustered, and I go in, you know, I feel that thing coming back. Anger is a natural alert. You know, but you know what? I know what it is now. Good. I catch him. Yep. And I go, okay, there he is. You know what I mean? Come on, brother. Pull him together. You know what I mean? And so I have that control that I reel back in, and not by my strength or by my might, but by the might of the Lord. You know,
so good.
So,
Well, Kelly boy, I'm so proud of
Yeah.
you, and I want to say thank
good.
you on behalf of our whole Ohana watching this Thanksgiving weekend. We do give thanks that God can work miracles
He
even
does.
amidst our mess. We're going to come back in just a little bit with Leolani and Kelly boy more this Thanksgiving weekend.
When was the last time you were truly grateful for something? Not just saying thank you, but really meaning it. Even today, in a world where everything seems to be falling apart, and there's so much uncertainty in the air, there are many things and people to be grateful for. Show gratitude for the healthcare workers risking their lives and their families to care for the sick. Thank the friend or family member that has always been by your side. Be grateful for the many who sacrifice their time and energy to make our community a better place. Today, choose to show gratitude. Who knows? Maybe you'll just start a chain reaction that will transform the world around you. And when you do, you'll help others remember that even today, hope is alive.
Discover hope this weekend at New Hope Oahu. For more information, visit enewhope.org.
Welcome back to Living Hope TV. I'm Dawn O'Brien, and I'm so appreciative that we just covered that topic. Thank you, Kelly Boy, for your courage. You know, this time of year can be a really hard time for a lot of families, from about Thanksgiving all the way to Valentine's Day, where there's an increased amount of stress, anxiety, and that leads to trauma in the home. And you just covered some of that with being released out of anger and some rage issues. I want to ask you your side of the story, Leolani, as the wife of 30 plus years, and you got to experience this with your keiki. How was that to be delivered out of this issue with your family for Thanksgiving this year? How do you feel?
That's a loaded question, and I have a loaded answer. It's so new, we almost don't know how to accept it. And sometimes I even think, like, is it really real? Like, are we really, really delivered? Are we all free? And every day I see that God has done such a good work in him. We're really grateful.
It's a massive miracle, and you've all been delivered and set free, and you're enjoying a new family chapter now, even as older family. You also have some exciting news that's going on for the Kapena family. One is at the Windward Mall. What's haps? What's the haps, Hula Snaps?
Yeah, we have our new ukulele teacher. Kelly boy DeLima teaching ukulele to, I think, 5-year-olds all the way to
At the Kapena School
teenagers.
of Music, which is at Windward Mall. It's massive, and within just a few months of opening, and this is all happening during lockdown, etc., that your CEO, who happens to be Kalena Ku, the Kalena Ku, opens the Kapena School of Music. You already have 220 students, Kelly boy.
yeah, over 220 students.
Oh,
Yeah.
wap your jaws.
Since June 1st, we opened.
Wow.
And it's been a blessing.
Yes.
It's been a real blessing. But not only do we have ukulele, we have voice, which we have plenty voice kids and so much talent. You know, Hawaii got so much talent. We have piano teachers, we have bass teachers. Lilo teaches bass, and we got drums coming up soon, and we got all kinds of. We have olelo
Hula.
classes.
Yeah,
We have hula classes. So the olelo is fun. We have a kupuna ukulele class, which happens on Saturdays
And
in
we
the
go
morning.
to that
So
class.
cute.
And
We
it's my
attend.
brother-in-law Danny from Tropical Nights. Yeah,
I've
he
seen you
does
guys
that.
post them on Instagram,
Yeah.
and those kupuna, they can jam.
Oh,
they give you a
man.
run for your
Good
money,
fun.
Kelly boy.
It's just, you know what is the biggest thing is that it's ministry too. You know what I mean? It's a marketplace ministry. And, you know, people feel the love of God, even without you even have to tell them, you know what I mean, you know, about Jesus. They feel the love and the Spirit of God when they come into that place.
Absolutely.
Parents are so thankful, you know what I mean? Not only for the fact that they get to go shop for 1 hour when their kid does, you know, the
Dinner.
ukulele and have,
Babysitting.
you know, but, you know, they just feel the aloha. They feel the aloha and the love of the Lord. And the greatest thing about it all is that when you give them that, when you teach that little 5-year-old or 6-year-old or whatever the C chord, and they never played the ukulele in their life, and when the light goes on and they get it, oh my goodness, man, it's like it does something to you that I cannot explain.
This is the living legacy that is the Kapena Ohana, and you folks have done it as a family with the Kapena band. Now you're doing it as a family in the Kapena School of Music.
Right.
Everybody's working, everybody's doing awesome. Okay, I'm gonna switch it up because Thanksgiving is all about food and family, and for a Tongan, I always say I'm half Polynesian. I eat for your survival, boo. Food is first priority, and then I can focus on the family. What's your favorite food this Thanksgiving and all Thanksgiving?
Okay, so it's always Papa's gravy. Okay, so Lilo learned the recipe. She's
Papa Kahu's gravy.
Kahu's gravy.
And he was a chef in the Navy many years.
Gravy all
catered.
over everything, you know. So that's always number one.
Broke the mouth. And what else? What else? Don't stop at one, girl.
Well,
Come
and
on,
then
Nalo.
my
Bust it.
sister-in-law, she makes the best candied ham. I love it so much. It's so good. And then the next day, and then of course we fight over the rolls from Pa'alakai Bakery. I'm going rough take right now.
Not the butter rolls.
Yeah.
Oh, you gotta
my
have at
gosh,
least two minimum. Okay, another thing. What's your favorite?
I like. I mean, look at me. There ain't too much. There ain't too much that I turn down. You know what I mean?
Big love. It's
I like
a big
it all.
ofa.
But that gravy, my father-in-law's gravy is one. Oh, that
you
bugger is
over.
hammer. I mean, you like that gravy so much, you would put them on your custard pie. Nah.
You can taste the love.
Crazy with the gravy. Let's not get crazy.
But I've seen Don eat.
Bruh,
I've eaten with Don many
And
times.
Kelly Boy is an honorary Tongan,
You know.
so earlier he threw it down. He was saying, I like my lu pulu masima, I want the ufi, I want the ulu, I want all.
Give it all to me.
What you like? What you like?
But it's all good. I love Thanksgiving is a wonderful time.
One more thing that you guys had coming out of, actually two, I'm going to hit real fast. All the goodness of God that came out of lockdown, you were looking up, is that you had, number one, you did an anthology album with your brother, which is Tropical Nights.
And my brother-in-law.
Brother-in-law, and that was huge. Won a Nahoku for that, which leads me
Right.
to number two. How many Nahokus did we win this year? And I have them right behind me in my display case here in my home. Hello, welcome everyone.
We won one.
Oh yeah, one
for Christmas album of the year. We were up for 4 of them, but considering I mean anything, even if we we're grateful.
It's massive, and
We're
what
grateful.
I trip on, or what I am surprised by, sorry for my Hawaiian pidgin, is that the kids have now grown up and they've each won nahokus of their own, whether it's
Right.
Kapenabu or Kalenaku. Now we have Kala'e added into the
And
family,
Kala'e had
right?
he won his first.
EP
and
of the year.
we were
Big
so
Island
you know what?
boy.
We were more happy, Don, this year for our my son-in-law Kala'e and for my brother-in-law
Brother-in-law.
them.
Yes.
Because Tropical Nights never won Nahoku Hano Hano awards. Neither did
Wow.
Kala'e.
That was their first.
So that was their first,
Yeah, we're so
and
happy for them.
I don't want to sound, you know what I mean? It's a win it makes you feel great, when you win things
When your
and stuff.
family
but-
wins, you win.
Yeah, but when one of them win, you win, and it was just a great time to
And bro, it was so
Yeah.
local mokain, because tell them how that started, the anthology album with Tropical Nights.
It was just like a conversation around the dinner table that we never had Sweet and Slow, their number one song everybody knows,
Love the
on
song.
any of their albums. And we're like, we have to do it. And so around the table, we just started
It was
writing
never
down.
on
yeah.
iTunes or
Yeah,
digitally.
we went to
on digital.
digitize
But we
it.
all know
Yeah.
Sweet and Slow.
Yeah,
Right.
but now it is, guys.
And we're
Yeah.
here during COVID, so we didn't, we wanted to throw them like a little album release party. So we did one in the backyard.
Yeah.
And we set up, all the thing, and we went on Facebook Live, and we had about 25,000 views that tuned in that 1 hour.
I was one.
And
it was unreal.
yeah, it was just so awesome, to celebrate them. And my brother-in-law them said, you know what, that's okay if we wasn't down at, wherever, celebrating down at, Aloha Tower Marketplace, celebrating
They reached more
we reached
people
more people
in our
the
backyard.
plus.
through that time. And that was a time that it was total shutdown, where people was just at home and you couldn't go nowhere. And we just threw this concert back.
It was awesome.
Virtual
Super Ohana
concert,
style,
and
right in the backyard,
great.
near the garage party, local
Yeah.
style. As we bring this in for a wrap, we just want to say to all the Ohana watching, and this is about a living hope, that there's so much for you that God has in store. And I'm going to give it over to these two to give a final word to you, an encouragement. If you have a scripture verse or something that you held dear to your heart, Leolani, please share it with everyone, because I know there's a lot of women still contending for their husbands or for their families, for children who have gone astray. And this Thanksgiving, even as we gather around the table, we need an extra scoop of aloha and gravy and hope on top.
Yeah. So me and Don found this verse in Hebrews 6:19, that Jesus Christ is that hope and he's that anchor. And I just thank God that he's anchored us in him. And that's the only way we've gotten through what we've gotten through. And I just encourage you, all family, we love you guys. We pray for all of you during this season, that you would be blessed and find an anchor and a hope in Jesus Christ.
I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody, you know, from our family to yours. May it be a blessed Thanksgiving, you know, with the situation with mandates easing up a little bit, and, you know, things that have been put into place because of COVID have been easing up. And now we can kind of get along, you know, get together with family a little now. Cherish that time, and we love you guys all. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
From the Kapena, Ohana, and Fale to yours, happy Thanksgiving. Aloha.
Anopiha ko kako opu, which means the stomach is full, and so are our hearts. That was a really great God story.
It was. The DeLimas are the true essence of aloha, Hawaii's unconditional love.
You know, it's their honesty and humility to share so transparently. Many of us see a very successful, world-famous Hawaiian family, and that's true. But the DeLimas also show us behind the curtain, to reveal the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but true aloha.
I like that. True aloha and lots of Jesus.
Mahalo, Ohana, for joining us for a very special Thanksgiving edition of Living Hope. Our prayer is that no matter what, you will always have a living hope. From us to all of you,
Aloha!